Okay.
So, yes, you arrive. A lot of you arrive in a fairly nice home. I'm going to run the assumption that Vesper's place is probably 2 stories with like a half basement. Where in the house would you teleport them?
Probably his room, or at least the room or at least the bedroom or whatever. I'm not sure.
All right. You teleport into a well-kept bedroom. There's a nice sized bed there. There's several trinkets around. The house is an interesting blend of rain architecture and very natural sort of sloping wooden walls and the whatnot. For those of you who are international travelers, it might remind you of what you've heard of unicorn architecture. And the room itself is a fairly decent size. I'm going to say it's probably a 5 square by 5 square area with a nice spiral staircase that heads downstairs.
Am
I cutting out a lot?
No, it's just that Stars' name is inaccurate now.
Oh, why you gotta do that?
I don't know what you're referring to, so I'm just going to press on.
He's talking about the fact that he doesn't have a filler anymore.
Yeah, it's by Guang and Sai Hung. That doesn't apply anymore.
Oh. It'll fix itself. That said, so the 4 of you the 5 of you, well, yes, yeah, the 5 of you pop in, and I presume, Abaigang, you immediately use lay on hooves and Corvine, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that will take a moment. Do any of you have any particular reactions to suddenly being teleported, Dandy included, into this place?
Stumbles a bit, but it's like, that's it. He's done it before. A little bit of relief that he actually teleported into his room and no one's dead. Except maybe Corvine. Corvine might be dead.
Stars, do you have any reactions?
Oh, and he does go around and find some healing stuff in the house.
I'm shocked, but I'm trying to roll with it. And also our tank is down, so fixing that.
Hey, I'm still alive. I didn't even take damage because someone put me on the edge, not in the middle of battle.
I suppose fair enough. He would have gone for you first, since you're the one who expressed hostility. I just kind of arbitrarily placed the tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was also kind of a little bit upset that I was on like at the very edge.
And at the bottom of the ticker.
Pizza, do you have any particular reaction to teleporting into a strange place? And then, you're pondering that. I guess that last would be no. Do you have any particular reaction to this?
No is relocating.
Oh, right. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Then let's go ahead and, if it's all right with you, Pizza, let's go ahead and move on to Corvine popping awake.
Did we stop him?
No, I got us out of there as soon as possible. We were clearly outmatched. I mean, at least you were clearly outmatched.
So lucky. It's...
Careful there, you're still weak. Don't push yourself.
I need to go and find if Vesper has any healing stuff.
If we don't stop him, more people could die.
There's nothing we can do now.
At the very least, we should tell others.
What do we even tell them, though? What was that thing?
No.
It was a gray sky.
A gray sky with scales and a long neck and fangs?
Okay. There's also the chance that we will get blamed for the murder.
But so we just hide that it ever happened and ignore it?
Unfortunately, that's what we have to do.
For now.
We don't have to do that. You
Well,
want to do that.
Well, if we don't do it, then we're not getting anywhere.
If we do that, we aren't getting anywhere either.
We have to do something. We just have to figure out what.
First off, we need to rest and figure out what we're up against. Corvine, you said Corvine? Is that what you?
Yes. My name is Corvine.
How would Dandy know that? Quick, we need to think of something.
We were all
The
introduced.
Duke, yes, the Duke.
Oh yeah, the Duke introduced everyone.
Good
By
thing.
name.
That proves I'm not paying attention.
He addressed each of you by name and talked a little bit about you.
You mentioned that's a gray sky. Is this something from in reindeer politics that I don't know about?
I didn't involve myself too much, but they're one of the noble houses.
Yes. And anything that would tip you off towards, them being crazy?
Not as far as I know, but did you see that?
I saw it. He turned into a monster. It just kind of happened.
Either he is a gray sky or he's infiltrated them. Either way, it's not good.
He seemed like he wanted to stop whatever Duke Winterfrost wanted us to do. Which, I guess he never quite got that out, did he?
All he got out was that we need to stop something dangerous. But I think we can figure out what that was.
The air begins, for those of you who are attuned to magic, the air begins crackling with powerful magic. Dandy is familiar with this, and essentially there's a momentary loud boom for a moment, and it's coming from downstairs, far downstairs. And Dandy can tell from the sound of it, it's coming from the teleportation circle that's down in Vesper's half basement.
Oh, he did get a teleportation circle?
Yeah, I decided why not.
Why didn't you tell me and I could have teleported there?
Because I didn't decide until this very second.
Nice.
It's a strong argument.
Always screwing me over.
But now you know.
Half the battle right there.
Mm-hmm. Plus I'll chalk it up to you panicking and picking the first place that went to your mind. Does that make you feel slightly better?
Fine.
But yeah, so someone just used the teleportation circle downstairs.
What was that?
Someone, be ready.
Doesn't sound safe.
So also, I had to go into the house. I had noises were happening.
Yes. From downstairs, you hear a somewhat familiar voice shouting, "Hello? Hello? Is there anyone home? Hello? Someone?"
Familiar voice to who?
A somewhat familiar voice is being shouted from down below.
Who is this?
Well, give me a raw wisdom or history check.
Crap. Someone tell him I'm not in front of my keyboard right now. Tell him tell him in I'm putting it in Fate of Foenum. I'm sorry. It's probably that.
So I'm
17.
assuming you guys didn't hear anything of what I was saying.
Nope.
I think the last thing we heard was you saying for now, agreeing that we have to hide this.
Ah, okay. So my mic did cut out.
So I'm guessing we missed a lot of dialogue from you then.
Well, not a whole lot. It's me guessing, hey, is that Yoham?
Gotcha. Yes, it is actually.
Oh,
Now that he
could
said
I
it
tell
and you
that
listened-
from my 17?
Yes.
Yay.
The 17 alone would have been enough, but no saying that dropped the DC from like 15 to like 5.
To like just listen. It's to like just listen.
So yeah, so apparently Yoham is downstairs shouting, "Hello! Is anyone around here?"
Bagwang heads down the stairs to confirm that it's him.
Well, when you head down there, you see an old reindeer sort of awkwardly walking around. He's well aware he's in someone else's home. He feels very, very, he doesn't really belong here, but he also seems to have some sort of sense of purpose and panic as he moves around a fair bit. He does not seem to notice you immediately as you come down the stairs. That said, the downstairs is also rather nice. It's a little bit larger than the upstairs, and it appears to be whoever lives here apparently doesn't get a lot of guests. Most of the space down here, there's a small eating area in the corner, but most of the area down here is dedicated to what appears to be study. There's a lot of books everywhere. There's scrolls. There's bookshelves. You see a few reagents here and there. So whoever lives here probably lives here to do lots of learning, and is probably a scholar of some sort. Which I would presume would strike you as mildly odd, considering that it was a famous gladiator that teleported you here.
Oh, also, I want to use my second wind now and get up.
So, I'm going to be a nice DM. Just go ahead and go back to full HP.
Woo.
Don't worry about spending resources.
I mean, these resources come back on short rests, which I'm assuming is going to happen.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, like, don't bother spending like hit dice or anything. Oh dang, fighters are hacks because they can just short rest themselves back to full health and never use. Granted, this is assuming you're not doing a dungeon crawl, but we digress.
Yes.
You spell his name like.
I heard it two different ways as you were talking.
Yeah, I forgot. When I said it the second time, I kind of forgot how it was said.
Okay. Excellent.
There we go. Okay.
Pretty close to my guess.
What was I saying? Saying something important, wasn't I? Probably. What did I do? What was I saying? I forgot. Right, the old man. Oh, yes. So, yes, it's basically whoever lives here loves learning, books, and study. It's also a lot bigger than most buildings in the city. So whoever lives here must obviously be rather wealthy. That said, like I said, he appears to not have noticed your arrival down the stairs. Is there anything you wish to do about that? Or do you wish for him to discover you more naturally?
I was just going to hail him.
Very good. He starts, turns around. Oh, he puts a hoof to his heart. Oh, good.
What are you doing in my house?
I'm sorry. I panicked. He sort of sits down for a moment. Give him a minute. He gave my heart quite a start. Do you have some water I could drink, perhaps? Yes, I should probably explain myself. I'm sorry. Well, I'm something of a sage, you see. I had helped advise the Duke on matters of arcane matters. I know. He looks around. Whoever lives here, I'm guessing. I just know a few small things, and I have a few friends, and I had someone try and figure out where you went, and well, it doesn't work that way. But I knew who you were, and I knew, and it's not exactly a secret that you and Vesper live together. So, and I knew that Vesper had come to the city from time to time via teleportation. So I took a wild guess.
I get it. What? Sorry. What'd you come here for specifically? I wasn't paying attention.
To find you, all of you here.
Yeah.
Is Corvine doing okay? How is she?
She's alive. She's hurt, but she's conscious.
Oh, good. I would say I'm so sorry, but I had no control of the situation. It's not really any point in apologizing for. Forgive me. I'm addled.
So, I guess the question is, what do
Why
we do?
am I here?
No, what do we do?
What do we do?
I don't care why you're here now. You explain that.
Right. Quick question. With this conversation going on downstairs, a lot of you who are upstairs, do you wish to remain upstairs, or do you wish to come downstairs?
Come down.
Yeah, come down.
Let's go down into like the eating area.
All right, very good.
I'll make something. I'll go cook something because this is half my house, or at least like a quarter my house.
Fair enough.
I would like to try to read things.
You live here, whatever the arrangement is.
What'd you say, Clint? What would you like?
I would like to try to read the books.
All right.
Because knowledge.
A lot of the books. There's a fair number of books about Rain, other cities, nations. Plenty of history books. There's a few books of arcane study. Most of them appear to be, more or less what you'd expect to find, and basically a person who studies the arcane for a living type of library. What is interesting is a lot of...
No. You see those books about the light?
I'm getting there. I was actually just about to say that.
Don't open those.
What is interest is you also discover a lot of religious texts, particularly the religious texts that their writing is written in Unicorn. And I forget, can you speak Unicorn? Do you know Lex Orato?
It is.
Daisy can, Baiguang cannot.
I cannot. It is the only language I do not know.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously I do, because we all know this.
Then my process of elimination, you recognize as Unicorn. You don't know what it's saying, but you recognize Unicorn. And Dandy's comment comes up as, I presume your search reaches over towards these books that intrigue you.
Actually, maybe, you never told me what I can and can't know about the light. Could I read those books and be fine, or...
The books that Vesper has are most of the books that are essentially general knowledge for those who live in the woodlands and probably close to it, or devotees of the light. Essentially, nothing there is too incriminating or sacred or deep or whatever have you.
So yeah, just retract that comment.
Yeah, but are some of them written in the special light language?
No. Well, Vesper has a couple of those books, but he keeps those books very carefully hidden because...
Understandable.
Because he has me around and I'm too curious.
Yes. He as much as he likes Dandy, there are some things that are for Unicorn eyes only, as it were.
And Danny understands that.
So, yes, there are a couple of books, but you guys don't know that, and they're hidden. So, pretend I didn't say that.
Say what now?
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, I retract that comment. Go ahead.
So wait,
Oh.
you said the guy who teleported in is the guy who tried to kill us, right?
No, the guy who teleported was the old guy who saw you in, who was a harmless bystander during the entire scene.
Okay.
Is Yoham.
Yes. I posted the name of the guy who tried to kill you because Stars was asking how it was.
I'm taking notes.
Dandy, you said you're preparing some food, correct?
Yeah, I'm preparing food.
Very good. And then
Just food. I don't feel like defining what kind of food.
Very good. And I presume you offered that as an open invitation for anybody who's hungry, correct?
Yes.
Very good. Then
I'll pass.
No. You gotta eat.
It's perfectly fine.
No.
You
almost died. The least I can do is be hospitable.
Please, just.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Take the food.
Dang it, Yoham. Yes, Yoham. Okay, it's Yoham. I don't know why I think it's not Yoham, but it's totally Yoham. Yoham accepts your kind offer. And might I presume that the rest of you take your seats, or take seats as Dandy prepares food.
I would also like to grab one of the arcane books and do a little bit of reading while we're eating.
All right, sounds good. It'll take a few minutes. For the food to be.
No, don't you
No.
dare get any food on that.
This is
Or-
okay.
Or it'll be my head if you take any food on that.
It will take a few minutes for the food to be prepared. During which time, Yohim. That's why I keep messing up. I was going to say Yohim.
Yohim.
Yeah, I don't know why. Anyways, Yoham, because I don't know, Yohim sounds more Norwegian to my ears for some reason. Yoham
I'm thinking about
sits
Joaquin
down,
Phoenix.
takes a few deep breaths. Yes, I came here because I believe the Duke was right, and I think what we saw today proves the point. I think it's no secret that something evil is happening, and I don't know, but if the Duke trusted you, then I think I can trust you, and I would like to help you as best I can, and figure out what's happening.
And we would appreciate it.
I have a small home just outside the Hall of Justice. It's where I live when I'm not serving his lordship. He pauses for a moment. His late lordship. I think after he seems to be sort of thinking for a moment, trying to make a decision, and then sort of nods his head. Now, I should probably tell you now. Time is of the essence. I don't know how much we have. What I know, well, I don't know much, but I know that there are at least three places that might have answers as to what just happened. The ones that come to mind, you could try going to House Snowdawn. They would know if it's something about magic. I'm sure they would know. I have some old friends there, and I'm sure perhaps they could tell you what on earth, what in the name of Foenum that was. Also, you might want to try House Ba.
Danny perks up.
You might scoff, but you see one of the real tasks that isn't made public for various reasons is part of their job is to make it their business to know what happens in the city, whether or not that business wants to be known. They
It's bah!
they
Sounds
might,
bah!
they might know something, although you might have a tough time getting in. They don't just let anybody in for good reasons. Besides, they have to protect their mint. You can't have any random old unglet walking into the mint. And there's a third option that I know of, but it's incredibly dangerous. I'm sure some of you know. But there are parts of the city that the city guard don't go to. In fact, there are some small pockets that they actually don't go to. They actually won't ever go there, and they haven't been there for years. They can't go there.
Do you mean the burrows?
Pockets of it, yes. The guard, they perpetuate a rumor that they don't go there very often to keep criminals off guard, so that when they come, it's a surprise and they can capture as many as possible. But there are places in the burrows where they can't go because it's too dangerous, even for the seasoned guards. I really shouldn't say this, but given what just happened, I'm not so sure that I should keep this a secret, but one of these, there's a few different crime groups that reside in the boroughs. That the most troublesome. There's several of them. These ones that the guard can't do anything about. They're too big, too organized, too powerful. Well, one of them is known as the Sisters Grom. Some refer to as the Grom Sisters, but they insist on being referred to as the Sisters Grom. And then someone could copy and paste that into Discord, that'd be great.
Dupe.
I know for a fact that they have a member of the Grey Sky family hostage, demanded ransom from the family not too long ago. So perhaps they might have answers. I would personally recommend perhaps going to Snowdawn or Ba. I don't know the dangers beneath you, but I don't know if I would trust, at this point, I don't know if I'd trust the Grey Sky's word, Grey Sky, period.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about them. Have they always been able to do that?
No.
Whatever that was?
No. They've always, of all the noble families, they've always been the most friendly, the most accommodating. Their hospitality was legendary. And the idea of a noble murdering another one? That's unprecedented. Never have I heard of such a thing. It's an affront to everything Rain stands for. I don't... Especially a Grey Sky, like... I could see maybe one of the crime lords doing it, or if I had to pick a house... No, I can't see any of the houses doing that. Well... Sapwood, maybe. Before we destroyed it.
I have often wondered about sapwood, but it never seemed appropriate to ask.
Dinner's food is probably ready.
Yeah, it's been long enough.
Everyone gets food.
Yeah, food.
Excellent. I put the book away now.
Corvine still refuses.
By the way,
I push the plate closer to Corvine and give her a glare.
by the way, the book was a fairly interesting read. It was a nice treatise on material components and why they're actually necessary and the part they play in the casting of arcane spells.
Woo.
Good thing everyone forgets about the material components.
Yeah.
I don't. I have a detailed list in my character sheet.
Oh, good for you.
I don't forget about the material components. I just have a bag of every material component in existence as long as I throw gold into it.
I have an arcane focus.
Just convenient bag that I just put my hoof into, and oh look, I have the ingredient I need. Fancy that.
That's basically how I do material components.
I mean, I guess they're there for balance purposes, probably flavor. I don't really know. I've never bothered with them.
Mostly flavor. Otherwise, they wouldn't provide such a cheap item that does that.
I mean, I suppose. But anyways, we digress. Yeah, looks down at his food and takes a few bites.
I only heard the rumors about that house.
There are some things it is best for the common folk to not know.
I'm not common folk. And even then, you shouldn't underestimate them like that.
Even if I didn't, I am bound by law to be silent.
Law? Law?
I'm sure you know that there, of course, there are the common laws of Rain that most of Rain agrees to. And perhaps you're unaware that each noble house has its own set of bylaws unto itself, and even between each other.
Yeah, but why would they make a law like that?
Because there are some things that are better left unknown. So,
If they're
all those
important,
who are
then they aren't best left unknown.
all those who are directly involved in that incident itself were sworn to silence.
Oh. So were you directly involved?
I can tell you that I was, yes.
Good to know.
I can tell you that I was there and I participated in everything that happened. I cannot tell you what happened or why.
Can you at least tell us if this new event is related?
I don't know. And I'm not hiding anything. I just don't know. But it might be.
Well,
I'm afraid I just simply cannot say more.
So we need to decide where to go next then, do we?
I think those three options are the best available to you.
If they are said to know everything that goes on in the city, I propose we visit House Ba.
Definitely, we should definitely check out House Ba, I must say.
seems like a good option, even though.
And how are we getting into this house?
If you tell the keeper at the gate what happened in your bit and why you were there, you should at least attract enough interest to at least gain, if not an audience with one of the family members, at least a servant to one of them. And if what I think has happened has unfolded, I don't think they'll be able to question your words. I greatly fear what has transpired since I've arrived. He looks up. Dandy. Which
Yes?
district are we in currently?
I was just about to ask that.
I don't believe we're not in Rain,
No,
right?
you're actually about a days away from the city of Rain.
So yeah, we're not in Rain.
We're not?
No, this is yeah, we're kind of a little far away.
How far?
Would I are miles a thing or are those big squares?
People prefer using time to judge distance.
I don't want to say a day though, because I want to be fancy.
3 months away.
30,000 pup lengths.
You want to know how many squares? I'll tell you how many squares. Give me a second.
Oh jeez.
Put it in one of the chats, please.
I'm struggling to think of a longer unit of measure that would go nicely with pup lengths.
Oopsies.
I just realized I'm just grinding everything to a halt just because I'm petty.
Jormungandr lengths.
So how do you think Rain will handle the news that one of the members of the Grey Skies killed the Duke?
And turned into a horrible beast of some kind.
They
Yes.
probably just suppress the rumor completely, you know? Can't have any negative PR, you know?
That does sound unfortunately likely.
Yes. And I definitely know that's something you can do in Pathfinder, so.
Okay. Since you are absolutely determined to know, I have found out how many squares it is away. It is, and if my math is not incorrect.
Don't read it out to me out loud. I want to read it. So we're approximately 12,672 pup lengths away from Rain.
So there you go. 12,672.
I say that in character.
No, you don't.
And
Oh no,
just
you said
watch-
pup lengths?
I did say pup lengths.
Sorry, I thought you said squares. I was like, no, that's too meta. Sorry, I don't normally deny characters saying things.
No, I said pup lengths.
So multiply that by 5 for pup lengths.
Oh!
So it's 60-something thousand pup lengths.
What is a pup
63,000
length?
a foot.
I don't know, I just made it up.
Oh no, if a pup length is a foot, then that's 5 times that number.
Guys!
That's what I said. 63,000 something.
Guys,
Off the top of my head.
I'm literally just making a joke.
That said,
It's a days away. It's a days away.
It's only a day away.
I tell him that it's only a day away.
Yoham looks at you with quite a bit of surprise. What? Really?
I mean, when you can teleport, it's not that hard, but...
How often can you teleport?
This thing generally goes like 3 times a day. Haven't really tried more. You know, it honestly feels weaker every time. You know.
That's interesting.
Well, all right. So I'm going to take a quick step back and take a step towards the meta. So I just want to gauge where the group wants to head next, and I'll ask each of you individually what your vote is. In reverse order. So that would be no. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
House Ba, maybe.
All right, Dandy, where do you want to go?
House Bob.
Corvine, where do you want to go?
House Bob.
Go to. Well, first of all, I should probably, when I walk into town, go meet with Washington.
That's probably a good idea, but on a slightly more long term. Essentially, what would you like to vote for the next step to be?
House boss sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Despite the fact that they're not a real house.
Baiguang. I'll get this right.
Baiguang.
Baiguang. What's your vote?
Well, I was the one who suggested Ba, and I'll stick with that.
Fair enough. And finally,
note that Dandy says it with perfect inflection and perfect accents because he's a native speaker.
I don't speak Ba.
And then Amber, what is your vote? Feel free to type it.
There's 4 A's.
Yes. Actually, I had to do 4 A's because Vamp took up 3.
He's
So
not a
basically,
part of the noble house.
Basically, because of copyright issues, I had to change the name.
Or trademark.
But yeah, and that also, I didn't want to be like, wait, so you're telling me that Benson's like been a noble this whole time? No, he hasn't.
Surprise twist to the backstory.
He's just been a humble sheep this whole time. Humble sheep who can cast magic because of glowing horns. Okay, cool. All right, then stepping back into the game.
Ba.
I have a circle in my own home, if you would like to use that. And while you look into House Ba, I'll try and look around and see what I can hear. I have friends throughout the city, and maybe while you do your looking, I might learn something as well. If, as I said, if the Duke saw fit to trust you, then I think I can trust you. I probably should also mention the Duke.
Hello.
It's okay, go.
I should probably also mention the Duke had promised an ample reward for your effort.
What? You didn't even do anything.
Well, if you had been successful, he
Oops.
I don't actually have much myself, but I have some connections. I'm sure I could pull a few strings to provide you a worthwhile reward if that's something you need. But I think time is of the essence. I think once we finish here, we should head back to the city immediately.
We can discuss
Understood.
rewards later. Some of this needs to be taken care of, I have a feeling.
All right. Well, then if there are no objections, I'll say that the meal concludes swiftly and everyone heads to the circle. Yes?
Sure.
Is there anyone who wishes
All right.
Is there anyone who wishes to take care of any last minute business before we move on?
Baiguan makes a mental note of the unicorn books before they go.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Dandy does go over to Baiguang and says, "Hey, sorry about that snake thing. I think."
Thank you. We'll see him again. It'll just take a little doing to get him back.
Oh, he's magic, isn't he?
Thankfully, yes.
Familiar?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But it feels strange not having him around.
He's so cute.
Anyway, that's it.
All right. Well, since 2 of our players are heading off to the restroom, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break.
Cool.
And I should probably run to the restroom as well, but partner really doesn't want to. I'll do it just to be safe, as it were.
BRB.
Gotta be safe.
So I'll be back in a hot second. Oh yes, and also I know I claimed that this would be more open world to do. The first part of it was a little more railroady, simply because I needed this stage.
It's not over yet, right?
This is a very small and very necessary railroading, right?
This is
And
the
I could have
tutorial before we can
taken you
run straight to
anywhere.
Ganon.
You know, and anywhere outside of Rain, I guess. You know,
Like
to be fair.
this isn't over yet, right?
By the way, I will say your teleportation did catch me completely off guard. I forgot you had that. I'm like, oh, those
So you were
PCs.
just planning on killing the entire party?
You were probably planning a escape
Because I
route
would
that
have died from that. I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
No.
if
I wasn't planning on actually killing anybody. That was not in the cards.
Well,
yeah,
it would have happened.
like the villain was just making an example.
Would he have laughed and run away before finishing us off? Because we're not a threat.
You know,
Yeah.
that question puts me in an interesting place, DM, because I want to answer that question, but at the same time, like, should I answer it? Because that would give away keys to his disposition. So I'm going to say I will not answer that question.
Yeah,
I-
you're
I
right.
didn't
But
expect-
but you're just saying no one would have died like day one.
No, I would not have killed you guys in the first session. That was
Even
not
if we
going to
rolled 3
happen.
death rolls and failed all 3 of them.
If
Yes,
you were
actually,
getting that close, one of us
I-
would have healed you.
I would have
Yeah.
been prepared to be like, no, not in the first combat. Like, that's not gonna happen. You guys were not actually in danger of death in the first session, because I'm not gonna do that to my players.
Yeah, but
Now, second session,
teleport because like I assume I didn't want to take chances, you know, because I didn't want you to throw a twist that hey, this character throw him away, you know. I know you
that's-
wouldn't have done that, but I just had to be sure. you know?
Yes. Also, not gonna lie, I had to scramble real quick to figure out what sort of nonsense I had to come up with so that the plot could follow you guys.
Oh, like you.
Like the guy
I
teleporting.
don't know how
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
Thaddeus imagined Vesper's house, but I'm pretty sure this is at least pretty accurate, you know. But I guess you
Well,
would
it
have
helps.
to ask him.
It helps
He
that
loves
Dandy
it.
is a famous gladiator. Like, again, you guys are level 6. You have a reputation. You have lots of experience. You are probably more powerful. You are more powerful than most high-ranking officials in any organization, magical or no. So it would make sense that since you're well known, that it'd be well known who you are in a relationship with. And Vesper isn't exactly famous in Rain, but it's not hard to find information about him, particularly considering his academic interests and his own capabilities, and the fact he willingly lives outside of Rain. People are a little surprised by that. Like, why would he want to live here? Like, it's a beautiful city. So at that point, it seemed a logical leap for him to be like, yeah, he would know that, and he would totally know that Vesper has a magic circle because he's in a higher level of information that would have access to that sort of information.
Yeah.
So then it'd be logical for him to put 2 and 2 together. And of course, you'd have access to someone who could teleport.
And also, I want to tell you, I was not paying attention to like 80% of anything you said, like during the session. Just like any 80% of the info dump, I was just like la di da, you know.
Perhaps it would be good to listen, unless you wish
It
for
would
your
be good to
character.
listen.
Unless
You know?
you wish for your character to stumble about in blissful ignorance, which is a character trait. If that's what you want to do, then who knows? That might lead to some very interesting RP.
I mean, he does have lowish. Wisdom is his lowest stat, basically. I mean, his stats are very high, but wisdom is his lowest.
He's been hit on the head a lot in the arena.
Oh, and speaking of which, I said before, I just want to bring it up again. When it comes to memory checks, traditionally my friends and I have always associated memory with wisdom. So if you're trying to remember something, I will either call, as you saw earlier, either a raw wisdom or a history check. So that history seems
or just remember it as a player.
I mean, that will circumvent it. But if you yourself can't remember, or you're trying to remember and you want to roll the dice, that's the dice roll call.
Okay.
That said, is everyone back?
Or just take the I hate my DM perfect memory feat.
I am back.
Very good. Pizza, have you returned yet?
Yes, the perfect memory feat, so I can just be like, DM, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, it appears Pizza is not yet returned. That's fine.
And if you say it wrong, then we retcon. If you remember it wrong. Because my memory is perfect, so it overrides what actually happened before.
Are you saying you'd like a quick voice check, Vesper?
Oh, mighty, that's like one of the Unforgotten Realms videos that Vipin had me watch. One of the characters had a trait that was like other characters can ascribe stories.
Oh yes, that's
to
right.
you,
The
and
like
they're-
famous feat or whatever, and they
Yeah.
become fact.
like, oh yeah, you're the guy who defeated 12 goblins in that
Oh.
one famous battle, and that's now
Oh, that
canon.
reminds me. There's like a feat. There's like a feat or trait in Pathfinder, and it's like a feat where you go, "Good thing I have this," and you actually have a chance to have it.
Very
I
nice.
believe that's actually a feat or trait in Pathfinder. I don't know which.
And I think there's also an item that works similarly.
There's a couple things. There's like the Traveler's Any Tool. Or every
But no,
tool.
it's just like a trait where it's a good thing I came prepared, even when the player is not prepared.
Ah, yes.
You are not prepared.
Oh, what was this?
Oh, it appears to be a World of Warcraft thing.
Hey,
It's a cat.
that's cool.
Oh, okay. I get it. Basically, make sure everyone's ready to roll. I'm not saying I think Pizza's still AFK.
And she comes back, Leroy Jenkins.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she just ran in.
All right. Well, if Pizza doesn't show up next couple of minutes, we'll go ahead and continue on. Ah!
Ow. Ow. Fudge. that hurt.
So
Dang it,
I
Pizza.
need to go talk to Washington, right?
Yes, you guys. So, just so you guys have a heads up, when you guys teleport in, you'll be. So if you have the map handy, I should probably actually load this onto Roll D20.
Oh yeah, you can. Have you messed with handouts?
I have not, but
'Cause
most of
you
what I'm
can-
saying is I should make a page, and you put the map of Rain on that page, so that I can ping
'Cause you-
certain parts of it.
You can also
Yo,
upload it as
over
a
here.
file. Let's see, what is that tab called? In the journal. You can upload it to the journal and make it visible to us so that we can just look at it whenever we want.
I see. I'll have to fiddle with that.
And you can also just pop it up onto our screens at will.
Very good. Oh, I forgot another detail about the map of the city. So all those roads you see, yes, those lines are roads, obviously. The blue ones are the major roads, the ones that are most patrolled by the city guard. Then the smaller lines are larger roads. They're kind of major roads for that section of the city. Not pictured are a much smaller network of various other little roads and alleyways. So while say looking down at the trade row, as I like to call it, major roads run more or less parallel to each other, but there's also a small network of crisscrossing roads in between those, and then of course various buildings along those roads and alleyways and whatnot.
Probably roads throughout the Icewind Commons.
The Icewind Commons is an official creation. That's probably why it looks so awkward. Is because there was a time when that was more or less like the other parts of it, but with recently Rain's been getting more and more popular, and a lot more Ungulates have been coming here for trade. As I said before, the bottom part there with the two triangles there, that's the main front entrance, and most merchants who are just only going to be in Rain for a day or two will actually camp in that large area, and that area has just been cleared out straight up. So it's basically
within the walls, but there's no buildings as such.
Exactly. So it's essentially kind of a permanent tent city where its residents switch out all the time. So that's a good place to check usually on a daily basis to see if there's anything new. The Icewind Commons themselves is more permanent establishments. It's those who either part of the regular business model is being in Rain, so they leave staff behind. Those who have business fronts, smaller business fronts. It's not too dissimilar from like a bazaar kind of a setup. It's got large open spaces where people just set up their wares. It's got like small booths here and there. It was intentionally cleared out essentially to make room for a large they realized, oh, we're getting all these merchants and they want to stay, but we've got no place to put them. Well, this part of the city isn't super developed, so let's just clear everyone out, evict them, and set this up as like the designated trade area.
I'm sure that went over well.
It was a long time ago. They're all dead now.
Sorry, the people who did it.
And then the other half of the district, that's more of like larger establishments that have been there for a very long time, so on and so forth. Like for example, I mentioned the one guild that makes one of the guilds that produces and makes magic items. They're not in the commons themselves. They're off to the side because they've been around for a while. So they have a couple of buildings that they use. And I mentioned it earlier. The parade grounds, specifically, if you look over where the Hall of Justice and City Guard are, those two things that look like nuclei or eyeballs or whatever you want to call them. Hall of Justice is the blue one.
It's the Hall of Justice.
You'll notice three vaguely greenish shapes. The center one is what's called the parade grounds. The ones on the side are typically used for training. The center one is also used for training, but it's not being used for anything else. But it's where big public events occur, be it like fights, parades, whatever else have you. It's kind of a multi-purpose area.
Gotcha.
So it's not like Rain has a permanent coliseum. It's just basically when because money fights, if they're arranged and all parties agree to it ahead of time, are perfectly legal. That's why Danny managed to make a decent living, because he can legally challenge people to a fight so long as it's not really lethal.
And and there's not really much accidents with a whip and lethal things, right?
So
it's not like in Pathfinder where you can just do non-lethal or lethal when you want to with whips.
The way I look at it is damage is the same right up until you get the killing blow, in which case, unless it's impossible to play otherwise, good luck trying to knock someone out with a fireball or a disintegrate ray.
But a whip is one of the easier ones to knock someone out with.
Yeah. I'm just saying for you guys' reference, when someone hits 0 HP, that's the moment we need to designate whether it's lethal or subdual, or I should say knock them out.
Yeah.
Before then, you don't have to make that decision. Unless you're killed.
There's no non-lethal versus lethal damage in D&D, or.
Well, I don't think there is. In 3rd edition, it's called subdual damage, but that's
something different in Pathfinder.
It's
3.0. It was subdual.
Lethal, non-lethal. Anyways, so for fighters, they'll set up fights on the parade grounds, maybe once a year, maybe twice, for big ticket fights, or when several fighters get together and agree having a tournament. But typically, it's pretty common for fighters to fight each other in the commons, for example, because there's a big audience there. A lot of fighters, work and train in the boroughs because there's less regulations there. So fighters have plenty of work, and it's easy enough to find. It's just Rain doesn't have a permanent arena; they just use the parade grounds for that purpose. Let's see here. Is there anything else I should bother explaining?
While you're thinking, I was going to ask just to be sure, was our meal break a short rest?
Yes.
Excellent.
Good.
Good thing I used nothing
actually
does short rest.
Actually, I want to ask you guys this question. A short break is an hour long. Do you want it to be short break?
Well, a short break is anything that's not more extenuous than walking and eating. So
But I think
walking
also-
back to town is a short rest, actually.
I believe.
Well, there is also the 1 hour minimum.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
if you guys
it's a
want
1 hour minimum, but walking counts as a short rest.
Yeah, but we're
Actually.
teleporting, I thought.
We
If you
probably
guys-
are.
there are two options. You can walk back to Rain, but it'll take you a day to do so, or you can teleport back to Rain.
Yeah, we can probably teleport there and possibly teleport back if we need to, and then just like wait a day. You know, if things are prudent, as you would say.
so like I said, if you guys want to take a short rest, you guys can do so.
I just noticed Base's comment.
And by the way, welcome back, Pizza. I was just explaining the map of Rain a little bit and delving a little bit more into its nuances that aren't actually on the map because I didn't want to get any smaller than what I'd already done. TLDR, there's a lot more to the map than you actually see because I am not a civic planner and I cannot city mapping. I cannot into city mapping. All right. So everyone's back and ready to go. Yes.
Sounds like it.
All right.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Oh, right. The whole reason I even brought this up, you guys will be teleporting just above the Hall of Justice. That's where you guys will be popping
Wait.
into.
Above the Hall of Justice, as
Just-
in
Just a little bit north of it.
okay.
Gotta
Where?
clarify that.
With teleports,
Yeah,
North of it.
different.
Oh
But
yes.
no, it's no mishap on a teleportation circle.
Oh yes. And of course, the up is north and all that good jazz.
Yes.
Okay.
Please specify when there could be falling damage involved.
No, you will not be teleporting. You're not
Why are
teleporting
you worried about falling damage?
in the air.
Because my friends will get hurt. Like
I
all
don't
but-
care. I
can
can
all
take
but one of them.
Yeah, I can loot the dead bodies when everything happens. I mean, I have no problem with this.
I mean, the dad's not using it. What's the problem, right?
It's not
so,
stealing if they can't say anything against it.
all right. So, pressing on. Yes.
I question your morals, sir.
So, do
I
you
don't.
guys wish to head back to Rain, or do you wish to? Oh yes, I was asking if there's any last minute business anybody wanted to take care of before y'all teleported back to Rain.
I do not.
Okay. Corbine, quick question.
Yes.
Where looking at the map of Rain, where would you have parked
Uh-oh.
Washington?
Pizza's got a problem.
Pizza lost her voice chat connection, apparently.
So where is
Rip.
where we started actually?
You guys.
Oh,
guys-
okay. Everything's good. Pizza's good.
Okay. You guys were in House Winterfrost, the black triangle.
And where are we now?
When you teleport back in, you'll be just north of the Hall of Justice.
And that's the dark,
The blue,
the one right above
turquoise,
training/parade grounds.
virus-looking thing.
Oh, that thing.
Yes,
The blue hexagon.
yes.
Oh, there.
Don't ask me
Couple of
why
blue
I made it
hexagons.
hexagon. When I made it, I was like, "Oh, this is a perfect shape." And then looking back, I'm like, "I completely forgot why I made it a hexagon," but hey, it worked. More or less.
And the walls, like the outside of the city, are actually walls.
Correct. The thick blue lines on the outside are walls, except for where the water is. That there's not actually water. There's not actually walls over the water. That's just there for my instance frame of reference.
Those are implied walls.
That also marks the edge of the reindeer's
Oh, that turned
influence on the water. So on the other side of that line, reindeers have influence over the waters. On the city side of that line, they have complete and total control over the waters.
Oh, and by influence, you mean like not like supernatural influence?
No, I mean both political and super.
Yeah, pull it.
Like
Oh, both.
yes.
Like they can like skate on it, I guess.
They're controlling the tides and such.
Well, Sort of. They don't have enough power to actually control the tides beyond the city's borders.
Yeah,
More
like,
that's what I meant.
machinery, or like what's
They
it
can
called?
freeze
Oh, yeah,
tides or
like-
something like that.
Yeah,
Ice, baby, ice.
the inside where the water is typically controlled by freezing large sections of the ocean water. Yes, they're freezing ocean water because they're magic, and magic doesn't care.
Hey, you can
Yeah.
freeze ocean water.
This is true. It
It's
is.
harder. It's just
It just has to go a bit colder. That's all. But yeah, the inside they decide what the tide is and when it is. They decide if it's liquid or if it's solid. Doesn't matter what time of year. They're the ones that decide what the water's doing inside the city limits. Outside the city limits, they may sort of like, well, we want the tide to be a little bit higher, so they'll try and nudge the tide to be up a little bit higher. And nature may or may not be like, okay, sure. If there's like a storm coming in, they'll try and weaken it outside so it doesn't hit the city quite as hard, kind of thing. So they can't straight up be like, y'all, this whole giant body of water is now ice. That doesn't work.
That's a bit much.
okay. So I think he'd be just outside the black area.
Okay, cool. Which is convenient because that'd be on your way to House Spa. Well, that works out pretty nice.